Today I thought it would be a good idea to talk about advanced cultures and protocols. Advanced cultures often communicate using various protocols because they're not an ego-based culture. In other words, they have to respond to a certain situation. And the amount of response is married to the situation. Now, when they don't understand the situation, they need to do market research. Now, one of the best ways to educate and to do market research is to activate, to awaken someone. The awakened person will educate themselves, will wake up, and then will go into the market, into the field, right? Into the battle. Now, I want to make clear that an awakened person, when I talk about advanced culture, is not always going to talk about alternative stuff. It's not always going to talk about alien ruins on Mars. It's not going to always talk about black ops. They're going to talk about all kinds of things, whether it has to do with vaccinations, eating organic food, a new kind of exercise, a groundbreaking nonfiction book, a new kind of film that's very heartwarming or entertaining. All of that, it's a very wide spectrum. All of that can be from an awakened person. So we often think, oh, the awakened person is going to talk about, the secret military programs, the secret space program, and the bases on the moon. That's just part of it. That's a very small part of it, okay? So they come in all shapes and sizes. An awakened person, let's say, that's been awakened with the help of advanced culture, goes out into the field to communicate, to share some profound, compelling knowledge. That's the key, right? You have something profound and compelling to share. Now, the advanced culture, they want to know where people are at, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, all of these things. Knowledge, where are they at? Are they awake? Are they half awake? Are they asleep? They want to see who is awake. They want to see how easy is it for someone to go back to sleep. They want to see who can stay awake and how much effort does it take? How long does it take? So they have all of these questions. Now, a person comes out and shares information about whatever. Now, there's a response to that information. Who understands that information? Who likes that information but doesn't understand it? Who cannot process it? Who is afraid of it? Who rejects it? Who gets angry? Who is happy? All of this is being measured by the advanced culture. And they have systems and they have technologies to measure all of this stuff. So the awakened person, who by their own cosmic decree, by their own life choice, awakes, their own life path, their karmic duty awakes, they go out to do something, to teach, to educate, to communicate. And then the advanced culture, the stellar culture, wants to measure who understands, who doesn't understand, who is interested but can't quite figure it out. All of these things, right, are being calculated, being measured. Now, when the awakened person says something and someone takes that information, what do they do with it? Right? Do you keep it secret? Do you share it with your friends and family? Do you go out there and share it publicly? Is it important? I need to incorporate it and share it. I need to incorporate it and keep it private. I need to pretend it didn't happen. Just for my own personal use. So the audience, right, the society is also waking up. So when someone communicates, if I share something to you and the audience is not interested or doesn't understand, that is a form of testing the market. Audience is still asleep. If I say something and the audience can understand and they can mobilize, then the audience has a certain level of awareness. If I share something and the audience supports me and my cause and joins me and goes out publicly speaking, that's another level of awareness. That's another level of awakening. And all of this is being measured because the Stellans have a protocol. They have to use a protocol. Now, so let's use an example even more explicit. Let's say the advanced culture wakes somebody up, and that person goes out there and says, there are bases on the moon. And let's say nobody believes them. Nobody believes them. Nobody can understand it. Doesn't make any sense. Where's the proof? Where's the proof? That would indicate, and let's say that there are bases on the moon. That's the truth. That would indicate to the the advanced culture that the audience is asleep. Right? Because they don't understand. They can't process it. Now, let's say that they'll try it again. They'll try with a different set of information. The person will go out there and say something else. How many people understand? How many people will mobilize? How many people will share it? How many people will go public with it? Now I should add something. The intelligence agencies, they use a similar technique. They use a similar technique because they will put out false information and they will see who believes the false information. How much do they believe it? Who is helping us spread the false information, right? That's the intelligence. They're doing the same thing. So there's this kind of battle between the truth and the false information, the disinformation. So the advanced culture wakes somebody up, they go out into the market, and the market responds. And that response tells them if they're awake or if they're not awake. Now, why is that important? It's important because if you're going to share more advanced information, you need an audience to be receptive, right? If you're going to have a disclosure, if you're going to have a full disclosure of something, and the audience from the research is asleep, then that would be a bad idea. There would be a negative reaction. So the advanced culture would say, well, it's not appropriate to do a disclosure if the audience is asleep or is full of disinformation, right? So this is the battle, that there is a group trying to wake people up, and there is the intelligence and the cabal trying to put people to sleep, because the level of awareness will affect the amount of disclosure, right? So this is one level of testing. Another level of testing, we'll just add this one, is when somebody wakes up, right? Wakes up. Do two fingers. How easy is it for them to go back to sleep, right? Because you wake up, you're excited, you got all these ideas, and then you got family problems, and you got financial problems, and then there's some disinformation, and the media is telling you everything will be okay, and then you're gone. How long? They want to know how long. And they want to know, those who stay awake, how long do they stay awake, right? Those who fight, those who stay awake, those who go up and down, up and down. All of that, in my opinion, is being monitored. It has to be monitored because they need to act on protocol. So they know that if one person wakes up, they will go back to sleep in X amount of time. They know that, right? If they wake up 10 people, one person will stay awake and 9 people will go back to sleep. Or they will go into drug addiction, or they will go into prostitution and criminal activity, and they will get distracted, or they will waste their life. One person out of 10. They know that. I'm not saying that's the number, but that's what they know. So let's say they know that 10% of everybody who wakes up is a fighter, will stay awake. And then that person will wake up so many people, and 5% of those will stay awake. So you can calculate how many people have to wake up, right? So if I wake up using these numbers, if I wake up 50 people and 10% stay awake, then I will have 5 people who are awake. Now, those 5 people will wake up so many people and so many people, and we'll see how long they stay awake. How easy is it for them to get discouraged, or how much disinformation it takes to throw them off. Anybody who's been awake in the alternative business is faced with disinformation. If you have very sensitive information, high-level information, classified information, you will also encounter psychological attacks, emotional attacks, financial setbacks, spiritual attacks, magical attacks. I mean, there is a whole host of ways that you can be put back to sleep. So the chance of you staying awake is very difficult. That's why very few people stay awake, because you just get hammered. Eventually you get discouraged, you give up, you stop doing things for a period of time. There's many, many reasons, right? Only a few really make it. But all of that is important information for these advanced cultures. And the intelligence agencies, they're trying to put people to sleep, right? That's false, that's not true, there's no bases on the moon, come on. Vaccines are good for you, come on. And people go, yeah, I guess so. Now the people who stay awake, then they get attacked. They get targeted, they get attacked, psychological, they end up taking drugs, they end up mentally ill. They end up with a divorce, maybe some go into crime. And some of this can be very brutal. Some of it can be very brutal. And a lot of it is clandestine, right? It's not overt. You don't always have the evidence to prove it, because they can use advanced technologies to do this. Now, every so often, if too many people are waking up, then the cabal will have to do something big, a big event, to put people back to sleep, right? So if the agency, the advanced agencies, cultures have succeeded in waking everybody up, the cabal agencies, right? They have to do something drastic to put people back to sleep. And this is where you get these 9/11 style events, which completely shock the world. An invasion, a massive attack, a flu outbreak, epidemic, an economic crash. All of this stuff is designed to counter the waking up so that people go back to sleep. So you have these advanced cultures who are not necessarily, they're not physical, they're not visible. They're kind of behind the scenes. They're like in a stage play, it's the director, the stage manager. You don't see them. When you see a play, you don't see the director, you don't see the stage manager. But they made the play. You don't see the producer. You see the actors. So if these advanced cultures are doing their job, you don't see them because they're behind the scenes. But they have every intention of making a good play. They have every intention of supporting society's waking up. And the intelligence agencies have every intention to distract, to dismay, to cause confusion and riots, and to spread disinformation. Climate change. Ooh. Climate weapons. Ooh. Which one is it? Depends on your level of awareness. Right? So all of these things are going on. And the Stellans, the advanced cultures, they use protocols to help society evolve. And they are facing these counter forces. So what I'm saying, maybe I can simplify. What I'm saying is that the advanced cultures are not telling humans how to live, right? Which is it's an ego-based culture. They're just supporting this awakening. And then the humans who wake up, they're speaking for humans, right? They're humanists. And the humanist is for the humans. So it's not the advanced agency, it's not the alien that is doing something. They're just stage managing. They're just producing. They're directing. Because human beings are still at a basic level of development and a basic level of spiritual development, intellectual development, emotional development. It's all quite basic. It is quite basic, regardless of what we've been told. We're an evolving species. Now, when society understands a lot, the advanced cultures have every reason to give you more information. If society was at a certain level, we would receive tons of wild and crazy exotic information because we are ready. Because we don't have this information, it means we're not there yet. That's the reason. Because we're being put to sleep all the time. So, and at this point in evolution, we are at this crossroads. Who is going to stand up for the truth? And who is going to find every reason to go back to sleep? That's your choice. But if we want the big disclosures, whatever you want to call them, we need to reach a certain level of awareness, a readiness. Say, I can handle it. It's not just you saying it, you need to communicate that publicly, right? If you've attained a certain level of awareness, you need to go public. Whether it's in a book, a movie, a video, a blog, a Twitter, whatever it is. And that comes with a risk that people will reject it. People won't like it. You're going to have to change your lifestyle. So it's all based on the protocol. You learn information. Do you keep it secret? Do you talk about it? Do you go public with it? What you do is a reflection of your level of awareness and your incarnation contract here on earth. If you've come for bigger things, you may find yourself speaking out publicly. That could have repercussions. By the same token, if the world goes back to sleep, that could have repercussions. So you decide, right? If we want the big disclosures, we've got to wake up. And we've got to tell the world that we are awake. Don't have to be violent or radical. It's sharing information. Intelligent sharing information, doing the research, cutting through the disinformation, using logic. You know, it's an intellectual argument, but it's a counter argument to this convention, to this old cabal-controlled world.